Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, June 28th, 2023. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the world. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Welcome. We are student. Oh, no, it's Wednesday today. Holy cow. This week is flying by. We are Student Loan Justice. We are the oldest, largest, first, and only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. Going to get right into it tonight, guys. We were put off by the Supreme Court this week on Monday. We are actually Tuesday yesterday. God, I just can't keep my days straight. We should be getting a Supreme Court decision on Biden's lame loan cancellation gimmick tomorrow at around 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I've got a special request, guys. You know, we love it when our people get calls into C-SPAN. And I think tomorrow, I'm hoping this decision comes down tomorrow. I can't imagine it won't come down tomorrow. So in all likelihood, it will come down tomorrow. And dudes, I'm telling you, it will be very, very helpful if we can get people to call into C-SPAN tomorrow morning. Decision makers watch C-SPAN, believe it or not, guys. People in Congress, Supreme Court justices watch C-SPAN. You'd be very surprised. So would you please get a call into C-SPAN tomorrow, and let me just dial in those numbers for you. Everybody can call in once a month, and quite frankly, everybody should be calling into C-SPAN at least once a month. But more than that, the message that I want everybody to tell them, read on air, is no matter which way the Supreme Court case goes, bankruptcy rights, as the founders called for in the Constitution, have got to be returned to these loans. No matter what happens with the Supreme Court case, we're still screwed, guys. They're going to turn the loans back on. If you have $10,000 and less in student loans, good for you if they approve it. But whatever they do, I actually think they're going to approve it. But and I'm one of the very few people to be saying that. But anyways, the point remains, guys. Call C-SPAN tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern time. I know it's pretty early on the West Coast. I used to live on the West Coast, so I know. But this really helps, guys. You know, there's a lot of things we cannot control about the student loan program and Congress and the Supreme Court and the president and all these things. But this we can control. It's not hard to get a call into C-SPAN. It is just not hard. And I could go through, I've probably called into C-SPAN 100 times at this point. I've got dozens of them recorded. But everybody can be doing this, and everybody should. Tomorrow is a most important day in the history of the student loan scam in the United States. It's just true. I really don't care which way the Supreme Court case goes. If you have $10,000 or less, probably not even on our group. If they affirm it, and I think they will, they're going to turn the loans back on. And bankruptcy, at least unless we get off our asses and fight, will be gone from the loans. This is the number one fantasy of the student debt collection industry. The debt collection industry wants nothing more than to see these loans turned back on, bankruptcy remaining gone. If Supreme Court denies the loan cancellation, same thing. Only instead of 20 million people being on our side, we'll have 40 plus million people on our side. No matter which way this thing goes, guys, we have got to get our bankruptcy rights returned, because this thing, it's going to be a feeding frenzy in September when they turn the loans back on. We have to start repaying. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be the wet dream of the student debt collection industry. So we got to be strong, guys. You know, the one thing that we've learned over nearly 19 years of doing this all depends on you sitting there. People who think that other people are fighting for them. No, that's not true. It doesn't happen. It never happens. We have 1.4 million people in our group, and that's absolutely meaningless, because most days, you know, on any average day, our daily action, which we ask everybody to do every single day, you can find it through the website. On any given day, maybe 100 people do our daily actions. You know, things are really cooking, maybe a few thousand, but guys, that's not going to win this battle for us. We are going to be conquered and enslaved by this debt, by this unconscionable, unconstitutional debt, if we let them. And the bad guys, and that includes many of the groups claiming to be fighting for student loan cancellation, by the way, guys, a lot of those groups are straight up corrupted. They don't want to actually solve this problem. They would much rather pimp this problem because they're making a lot of money off of this problem. Well, here on this group, we want these loans gone. We want them gone. I'm a default student loan borrower, long time. I want these loans gone. We don't do deals with the debt collection industry. We don't have special little secret handshake. We don't do business transactions with debt collection industry. We don't steer our members into loan rehabilitation. We don't make money on the sly. We don't do any of that stuff, guys. None of that stuff. All we are normal people who have been looking very hard, very keenly at this problem for 18 years now. And that's true. I kind of wish it wasn't, but it is. So please benefit from our accrued wisdom over many, 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 many very difficult years of fighting this battle. And just realize that these are your loans. This is your problem. And we are badly outnumbered in the media, on the internet. Much of it is fake. Much of it is paid for, but the fact remains. The media is almost completely captured. We get lucky in the media from time to time. And by the way, tomorrow, right after the Supreme Court ruling, we will be interviewed on both national TV, one of the major networks, and also on national radio. We're also doing a live national show tomorrow early evening as well, I should say. And by the way, if you want to be interviewed for your reaction to the Supreme Court ruling, look up or down on our Facebook group, and you can see a number of requests that I've posted where you can signal your desire to be interviewed for your reaction to the Supreme Court decision. And, like I said, I almost don't care which way it goes. The whole thing was a setup from the get-go. Joe Biden's student loan cancellation, I think, was kind of designed to fail in the first place. So, I mean, anyways, you'll hear my comments tomorrow morning shortly after the verdict is read. So I'm going to look for your questions and comments right now, quickly. I'm going to try to keep this live stream to less than about, say, 15 minutes tonight, if I can possibly do it. And while I'm dialing in your questions or comments, if I can see them, I should say, guys, we do need to raise some money. We on this group, we survive only on personal donations, like personal gifts from normal people like you. This week, we had to raise around $850, which is a lot by our standards. So far, we've raised around 300 or so, maybe a little bit more dollars. So we still need to raise around 450 or $500. So if like 40 people donate $10, or if like 20 people donate $20, that will do it for us, guys. We can survive and thrive and fight and win. I kid you not, win this battle. But we can't do it on nothing, dudes. So, and I suck at fundraising. So just please donate so I can shut up about it, if you would, please. Thank you. So, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to leave it there at that. I have to go buy a shirt for the interview tomorrow. I'm going to buy like a green shirt, a not blue, not red shirt. This is a nonpartisan problem, by the way. So I think I'm just going to leave it there at that. But I just want to leave you with this thought, guys. Both parties are against us. We don't like the Democrats. We don't like the Republicans. And we hate them in different ways. The Democrats betrayed us last session. They promised they were going to return bankruptcy. They had the House, the Senate, the presidency, and at the very last minute, they abandoned legislation that would have returned bankruptcy rights to student loans. So the Democrats are terrible. In fact, they are vicious, viciously against us. The Republicans are just basically fucking evil. I mean, they've never done anything for student loan borrowers, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. But which is worse, your friend or your frenemy, or you know what I mean, like good cop, bad cop thing. So I see we have a couple of comments here. I'll just read a couple of comments and then call it a night, guys. Joanna Kern says, would get a life. Oh, wait, hold on. Good evening. Who is sick of all the foolishness? The elected officials need to get a life, I think she means. They will never get the money back. Yes, that's a key point. It's a key point that I'm going to make tomorrow if I can remember to. Even before this pandemic, guys, 3 out of 5 of all student loan borrowers had stopped paying on their loans. They were not making payments on their loans. 3 out of 5. And even discounting for the people who were in school or in their grace period, still over half, more than half of all federal student loan borrowers were not paying on their loans before the pandemic. That's going to go up by a lot. And in fact, it'll go up by even more if Biden's student loan cancellation goes through. And I don't care which way it goes. I think it is going to go through. But anyways, I said that here. You may have your own predictions. I'd be curious to hear your thinking. But I'm pretty sure they're going to affirm this cancellation. But I will have comments prepared in either case. And in either case, our message remains exactly the same, ladies and gentlemen. This is nonsense. Bankruptcy rights, as the founding fathers called for, ahead of the power to raise an army and declare war, must be returned to these loans. The lending system has failed. The pandemic was the nail in the coffin. And if Congress, particularly the Republicans, if they want to avoid being eviscerated in the polls next elections, they will, at a minimum, fight to return bankruptcy rights to student loans. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy, least of all me. And very few people will ultimately have to file for bankruptcy when we get the right returned. The point is, we, the people, have got to have the leverage of bankruptcy back on our side if we're going to see anything meaningful. Now, the good news is, when we do get the leverage of bankruptcy returned, probably without anyone even having to file, we will see widespread, very broad, very deep, very meaningful improvements, like actual, not fake improvements. And by improvements, I mean a lot of things. First of all, I mean probably very broad, widespread loan cancellation. Not pretend cancellation, not announcements of a cancellation tied up in the Supreme Court. None of that bullshit. We are going to see very broad, wide, deep loan cancellations. We will also see the vast majority of people actually make it through the various income-driven repayment plans that are out there, IBR, IDR, ICR, public service, etc. Instead of what is currently the case in the absence of bankruptcy, where they can do whatever the hell they want and there's no risk to them, they deny the overwhelming majority of people who try to make it through those IDRs. And I could go on and on and on and on about the good things that will happen when we get bankruptcy returned. But just take it from us. I'm a normal guy. I'm an honest guy. I'm a pretty smart guy. I've looked at this problem for many, 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 many years. And let me tell you, it all comes down to bankruptcy. It's a very good reason the founding fathers called for it, ahead of the power to declare war and raise an army. So, all right, guys, I'm excited for tomorrow, whichever way it goes. Tomorrow is our day to make a splash, guys. It's your day to make yourself heard. The easiest way is on C-SPAN, but maybe you want to call your local radio station, your local morning show. Do whatever you think is best, but just call C-SPAN, and I'm going to dial that in one last time before I sign off tonight so you can remember what the phone numbers are. There's phone numbers for Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Shit, I don't have it. I'm just going to tell you, area code 202-748-8000 for Democrats, 202-748-8001 for Republicans. I have them memorized. 202-748-8002 for independents, which I am and which this group is. So come on, guys. This is not hard. 99% of democracy is just showing up. And we've got to show up tomorrow, guys, because these are our loans. These are your loans. This is our problem. This is your problem. Make no mistake. Nobody's going to fight your battle for you. And that's always been true. So, okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I may do a special live stream. We'll see. Good luck. God bless and Godspeed, everyone.